Hey everyone, Shark here, and we've received a little bit of good news in the form of developer notes for Genshin Impact's upcoming patch 5.2. So in this video, we'll go over those changes, and I'll share my thoughts, and I'll also give you an in-game code as well. So let's get into the changes coming in the next update. Some good news today! Okay, first thing is Treasure Compass. Treasure Compass will now be able to find time trial challenges and Sealies. That is very helpful. I really like that a lot. That makes the treasure compasses so much more useful. Enable quick swap. Wait a minute. It will automatically swap to match any region across. Ooh, I like that a lot. Wow, that's really nice. So as long as you have the specific region treasure compass, you turn this on, and then it auto swaps. All right, auto lock. Let's see. You can use recommended lock plan. So let's see what they have here. So they have circlets, automatically lock ones with crit rate as main affix. Recommended general, so you can auto lock, like, oh, every crit damage circlet I get, I'm gonna auto lock. Weapon selection optimization, already owned. Oh, this is nice. So for people who get the battle pass, it shows you what you already own, so it prevents you from, let's say, buying a weapon you don't need in case you thought you had a refinement, one final refinement for it, like in the case here where the wolf thing is R4 and they see that they're going to buy one, and so they can get it R5. But if you already had it R5, you'd have to go into your menu, double check. And this is a nice little quality of life thing. So good for Battle Pass enjoyers. Serenitea, of course. It wouldn't be a Genshin developer note without Serenitea updates. Let's see what they're doing here. You can purchase wood for realm coins. Sure, I guess. I mean, I guess if you don't want to go out and farm wood, it is literally an infinite resource that you can just go around in circles with over and over and over. I talk about that in my Teapot video, how you can just get unlimited wood, and there's no time on it there's no time requirement. There's just the number of trees you hit. Increased base damage for certain elemental reactions. I like to hear this. So when they say certain increased base damage, they're talking about the multiplier. Like they did this in 1.6, I want to say. They increased the multiplier of Swirl. Swirl used to be kind of a joke, and then it became incredibly good, and they also did the EM buff at the same time, making transformative reactions and Swirl so much better, and it looks like they're doing that again. Overloaded, Superconduct, Electrocharge, Shatter will be increased. The interesting thing about all of those, they are all electro reactions, and they are all transformative reactions, which means I think we're going to see more electro transformative characters. We know that Auroran is Electro, so this could be a direct buff to him as he is debuting. He will probably appear stronger just because of these reactions. I could see people running him in an Electro Charge team or maybe in an Overloaded team. And then this is going to be a buff for Chevre's teams as well. Maybe Superconduct will be useful. One thing to consider is that these are all based on level and EM. Those are the only ways that you increase the damage of like Superconduct and Shatter. So it's weird to have like Superconduct and Shatter specifically because those you'd want like physical teams generally. So you'd be focused on a little more attack and crit, but maybe depending on the multipliers, we could see a really weird Cryo Electro EM Superconduct team or like Superconduct Freeze team. Maybe Hyper Fridge could be a real thing, and you run like Rosaria with Nahida, Jingcho, and Kuki Shinobu. That's actually, you know, kind of an interesting idea, an interesting concept. We'll see how good it is, but, you know, could be fun. Increased blessing level buffs for special guest stars. So they're doubling the level buff increase. Okay. Are they doing anything to make Imaginarium Theater less restrictive? Characters will be sorted according to their elemental types, whether they're mostly on-field or off-field, whether they're DPS support or survival type characters. Oh, that's interesting. So we have this little icon here, and you used to literally see like attack and then support and then like the shield for survival. I guess if you're unfamiliar with the characters and their kits, that's helpful. I think if you're doing Imaginarium Theater though, you kind of know who you want to bring because a lot of players are just going to level up their teams to a certain level because they're like, I don't have X character and I want to do theater. What's my best option? Am I going to level up, I don't know, let's say Bennett, or am I going to level up Xinyan? Well, I think I'll level up Bennett. This is nice, I guess. I don't know if it really solves any problems. maybe just trying to keep things square in your mind. So maybe the problem it solves is just trying to categorize things in your mind and keep things straight that way. But I'd like other theater changes. This one's not, it's not bad, but there could be a lot of better ones. Click on boss avatar to view their information, see which characters possess tactical advantage. I'm surprised they did not have this before, to just have like a general description of the boss, what they do, and how you want to try and counter them. This really only comes from knowledge of playing the bosses, so yeah, I'm glad they have this. I'm really not sure what this last paragraph means, but here's how I'm reading it. So it says, what's more, in response to your feedback regarding completing all acts in one go, starting from version 5.2, after completing at least 3 acts, as well as your dialogue with Wolfie, you can press the next act button on the finalization screen after each successful performance and to continue your challenge. My thought is, once after you've done the 3 acts and you've completed everything, then you complete the trial for the next act, and then you can just like auto switch or just like auto go to the next act without going through a bunch of the menus. I think you can just say click go to next, and then you pick your character, you pick your buff or whatever, and then it just automatically throws you in the next act that way. So instead of like having the break in between, if you wanted to keep going all the way through, I think it's just going to be a little bit easier to do that. But I don't really know what this means. This is going to be something that I need to see live to really understand what they're actually talking about. Overall, not bad for the developer's notes. Honestly, the artifact changes are kind of nice for farming, but the biggest change are the changes to the electro-transformative reactions. Electro-transformative reactions could use a buff. Electrocharge is pretty good. Overloaded with Chevreuse is quite nice. It'll be very good now. But Superconduct and Shatter are basically useless, and now maybe they'll be good. Maybe they get a really big buff and they get a 3x multiplier or like a 2.8x multiplier. 3 times multiplier is the same as Hyperbloom. So maybe they get a really high level multiplier like that. And it makes it actually worth it to try and build a Superconduct team. Who knows? And maybe they do the same thing with Shatter. I could see Shatter being a higher multiplier because it's harder to proc Shatter than it is Superconduct. But we'll see. I'm excited to see how the changes feel. So we have a new code apparently. Redeem, copy, paste. Check your mailbox for Mora, some Adventurer's Experience, and some Fine Enhancement ore. So our redeem code was only for resources, not Primo Gems, but you know what? Free resources are always helpful.